Shaun, we really got to dig into some breaking news that good old Jeff Passan broke today. As you know, life by Passan. You got it when you get a notification from him, you stop everything and you got to read it because there's something going on this offseason. And it looks like we got what we didn't really think was going to happen. And that is Boston Red Sox signed with the extension, a pretty interesting extension, pretty long extension, if you will, of Rafael Devers. They finally get the guy with they lost Mookie Betts, they lose Xander Bogaerts, but it looks like they lock in Rafael Devers. Before I get the details, what's your initial reactions of this extension?
Wow, 11 years was a long time, and in 2022, the Red Sox don't look to be competing for a division title or anything like that. So, it's kind of a good time for them to look ahead to the future, if you will. And I think solidifying the third base, the hot corner for the next decade, is a good way to start that. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of commitment, but if you're the Red Sox, what else are you going to do after losing Betts and Bogaerts, right? You can't let the last homegrown beast monster, if you will, leave for greener pastures, right? So,
right, yeah. According to Passan's story over on ESPN, he says that this 11-year, $331 million deal for Rafael Devers is the sixth most money ever, and it's more than 50% over David Price in money and 3 years longer than Manny Ramirez's deal. This is truly a blockbuster deal for the Boston Red Sox, and yes, they are not really in that competition window. When we talked about them in the AL East preview, we were pretty consistent with both you and I in opinion that they're probably going to be in the basement of the AL East. Now you lock in a guy like Devers for a lot of money for a long time. Sure, you can build around him, but you got to think it's going to take some time.
Oh, absolutely. But if we've seen anything from the Boston Red Sox over the last, 10, 15 years, it's that they know how to turn a ship around, and they'll be back in competition in no time. That's the one thing that you can't knock them out. When they're out, they're not down for long. So, if you're a Blue Jays fan or even an Orioles fan like yourself, you're going to enjoy it when the Red Sox take a little bit of a break, but you got to be rest assured that it's not going to be a long break.
All right, so just initial reactions, your last thought before we get into the NL Central. 11 years, $331 billion. When it's all said and done, will the contract be worth it for Rafael Devers and for the Boston Red Sox?
No, but no contract of that nature is. In 13 years from now, how great is Tatis Jr. going to be? All of those big money contracts, by the end of it, when you look at the last couple of years, you're not paying for that. You're paying for the front end of that contract. So, when all said and done, is it going to be worth, no, maybe not. But if you're the Boston Red Sox and a fan of the Boston Red Sox, more importantly, it's definitely worth it. You do whatever you can to keep your big guns in the holster, right? So, I don't get too caught up in terms and financial details about contracts like that. The bottom line is that the Red Sox fans are going to get to enjoy Rafael Devers for the next decade.
Yeah, at least they got that going for them at Fenway, because I do think it's going to be a pretty rough couple of years as they build back up. Because the rest of the teams in the AL East are on their way. Well on their way.